everybody's talking about AI and ChatGPT and how it can help them do whatever they're doing. For us, that might be video editing. But can ChatGPT help with your video editing? I'm not so sure. However, my thought is, can it help us be faster and more efficient and even possibly better at applying to jobs on Upwork? So let's find out. If we haven't met yet, I am Colleen. I'm a professional video editor. And on this channel, I talk about Upwork and video editing and freelance. So if that's interesting to you, I would love it if you could hit subscribe to support my channel. So I actually went through and tested out a couple things to ask ChatGPT to just even see if this video would be worth making. And I did have a few things that I would like to touch on and talk about and show you what ChatGPT can do if you haven't already tested it out for yourself. So first of all, you're going to want to go to chat.openai.com, or you can just Google search ChatGPT and it will take you to the site, and you'll hit try ChatGPT and it will take you to a pretty blank looking screen where you just kind of ask a question and then it goes from there. I first wanted to sort of test the waters to see what ChatGPT can help with, because I know that they can help with writing and research and things like that, but can ChatGPT help with anything outside of itself? Like, can it search for Upwork jobs and tell you what are the best ones to apply to? So I decided to ask it that. Can you help me find the best jobs on Upwork? And this is basically what it said. Essentially, it said no, which is understandable. It doesn't have access to real-time data, which is what Upwork thrives on, is real-time updates to their job market. However, it was very helpful in that it did give me a few tips on how to find the best jobs on Upwork, define your niche, look for long-term clients, target high-paying industries, polish your profile, and apply to jobs strategically, which are all things that I agree with and that I would talk about on my own channel. So that's a great answer. You know, thanks for trying ChatGPT, but let's move on. We know now it can't necessarily help us find the very best jobs on Upwork, but maybe it can help us in different ways. So a huge part of Upwork and applying to jobs on Upwork is writing customized, detailed cover letters that address the client, that are engaging to the client, and that will attract the client to want to look at the rest of your application and ultimately interview you. Can ChatGPT help with that? I figured it probably could, but let's see what it says. So what I decided to do was go to Upwork, grab a random job description that had a relatively good amount of detail in it. I just copied the whole entire thing and pasted it in here. So I said, can you write a cover letter for a video editing position with the following job description, colon, and then I just pasted it and then I hit enter. And this is what it gave me. Dear hiring manager, I would not put that, but okay. I'm excited to submit my application for the video editing position that you recently posted. As a highly skilled and experienced video editor, I'm confident in my ability to help you bring your vision to life and create a captivating episodic video series. Honestly, that's kind of engaging. I would personally have a little bit more personality and engagement on your part as far as maybe just adding a little bit of your own personal touch to it, but I think that's a really nice sentence. And honestly, if you struggle to write really captivating paragraphs and enticing language, ChatGPT will work wonders for you. Your plan to document the journey of two characters on a 3,000-kilometer journey across 6 countries is truly inspiring, complimenting them on their idea and their plan for their channel. I'm thrilled by the idea of bringing your adventure to life through video, blah, 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 going on to, and I didn't ask it to do that. It just did that, which is really, really helpful. And if you agree with that, then you should definitely copy that. Maybe again, add more personal touch to it and put that in the cover letter. Circling it back to myself, I have extensive experience working on similar projects, and then noting what that experience is. If I were you, I would hopefully take from your own personal experience to note specific examples. But as far as tying what the job description says back to what you can offer them, this does a good job at that. ChatGPT is going a little rogue here. Your plan to upload 1-hour footage every day for a few days is ambitious, but I'm confident we can deliver high quality videos at that time. It may very well be ambitious. I wouldn't just take ChatGPT's word for it. I would use your own opinions to comment on that if you choose to even comment on that. Again, remember, you don't have to take everything that it says and just copy and paste it into your cover letter. I think that could get you into some trouble, and it could get you into a lane of sounding more impersonal and kind of robotic, because while it does a good job at kind of replicating a human, it's not perfect, and it's way better to act as though you are speaking in your own language and linguistics and dialects and everything like that. It's better to make it as human as possible, showing your personality. But overall, this does a pretty good job. And so now that we know that, this is just from me copying and pasting from Upwork a job description in here. What else can we do? So I decided to try it one more time, actually, the copy and paste job description from Upwork. I found a slightly different one that had some very specific like bullet points, responsibilities, requirements, which is kind of what a job description normally looks like a classic one. So I said, can you write me a cover letter for a videoing position with the following job description? And then I just, again, went ahead and pasted it. This does note a specific company, but it is on Upwork, so I consider it relatively public domain. And so let's see what it says. And it's giving a very similar answer to the first one. It's pulling very specific pieces from the job description. It knows what the company's name is. It's making up experience based on what the job requirements are. So that's going to be something that you're going to need to fill in, obviously, yourself, because you can't just let a robot speak for you. You need to provide your own experience, and this may not be completely accurate to you. It isn't for me, so I wouldn't use this personally. So you're going to definitely want to look over what ChatGPT is giving you if you decide to go this route, and you're going to want to fine tune it to your own experience and your own opinions and your own personality. But just another example of how thorough and good of a job it does just from simply copying and pasting a job description. In terms of the bulk of the effort that cover letters can take you, especially if you are being really ambitious and you're trying to apply to a lot of jobs on Upwork, it can get really exhausting, and it can be a detriment to the cover letter process because you just get so exhausted. You start just copying and pasting the same exact cover letter, which I think is a poor decision on your part, because a very general cover letter to me is just as bad as no cover letter at all, because it doesn't really give me a lot of connection. That is something that I would need as a client if I were looking for someone. And so a lot of clients probably feel the same way. Okay, so I decided to go a slightly different route the next time, talking to old ChatGPT, and I wanted to state a more personalized experience to me, where maybe, and this could be good for you to just keep in your back pocket when you are listing your experience over and over again to clients. I said, can you write me a cover letter for a video editor with the following experiences? 15 years of video editing experience on Adobe Premiere Pro, social media content creation and management experience, has worked with many clients at the start of their businesses and helped them grow their brand with video, back-end YouTube experience, organization, and attention to detail. Blah, blah, blah. Here's all these things about me that I like to talk about in cover letters in the past. Can you help me write a standard bit about myself? Ideally, this being my goal, that I could use this and just kind of keep it, like copy and paste it in my notes or something. And then every time I would apply to a cover letter, I would just have that already pulled up in a nice sentence structure, so I wouldn't have to just constantly type it over and over again. And this is what it gave me. Again, don't ever say, dear hiring manager. That's awkward. Rarely that you're talking to a hiring manager on Upwork. I'm writing to express my interest in the video editing position at your company. And it really just, I don't need to read the whole entire thing. You can see it goes into in depth with me just listing that tiny little paragraph about myself. It is just listing everything out in a really well said, full, thorough cover letter. If you saw my last video where I talk about my cover letters, the ones that I have used to get actual jobs that I've actually gotten, they're not this deep. They're not this long. They're like half of the length, and I prefer them that way, especially when you are applying to jobs on Upwork, because while it says cover letter, I don't consider it to be an actual cover letter. If you were writing an actual cover letter, this might be a little bit more appropriate, because a cover letter is normally like a whole page, if you will, one page. But I think it does a really good job. When I was looking at this, I noticed that it was kind of heavily leaning towards as if I were applying to a YouTube job, which is fine because that's normally the kind of jobs that I apply to. Jobs in YouTube, in Instagram, TikTok, social media. However, I was curious to know if it gave me that answer and then I could ask it to reformat it essentially to appeal to a different kind of video editing. So what I did was, I don't know if I had to do this, but I essentially copied that whole cover letter. And then I just came down here in the next question and I said, can you reformat this cover letter to appeal to a corporate video editing position? And then I just pasted that cover letter in the whole entirety. And it gave me just that. It gave me a very similar answer, but it did change a few things. It definitely kind of generalized my experience a little bit more, which I guess is more corporate friendly. And it didn't focus as much on my social media experience. It just kind of gives me it gives me a lot of soft skill attention and just basically drawing out everything that I had asked it to do, which I guess is corporate friendly because corporate people love to draw things out. So it did a good job on that, I thought. Let's switch gears here for a second because yes, we know now ChatGPT can help us write our cover letters a little bit faster, more efficiently, and maybe even make us sound better than we normally would. I wanted to try something else to just see what ChatGPT would be capable of. So I kind of went off the rails and I decided to find a job on Upwork that seemed, maybe something that I wouldn't necessarily apply to because it was kind of vague or whatever. I copied that job description and then I came to ChatGPT and I said, does this job description sound like a scam? Why not? So I just pasted the entire thing and then I put it in quotes just to kind of separate it a little bit more. And ChatGPT says, based on the job description provided, it does not necessarily sound like a scam. However, as a language model, I cannot verify the authenticity of the job posting or the employer offering the position. That being said, the job description seems to be a legitimate video editing position. The responsibilities include blah, blah, blah. It's saying what the responsibilities include, but then it gives a little tip. To ensure the legitimacy of a job posting, you should research the company, verify their website and contact information, and check reviews or feedback from previous employees or clients. I think that that is so helpful, as even though ChatGPT can't actually verify this, I personally wouldn't have suggested applying for this job because on Upwork, the payment method wasn't verified. Anytime that the E in editor is capitalized, I'm like, interesting. And then just the fact that the job description was pretty small makes me think that it wouldn't be a good job for me. And maybe I don't want to spend my connects on that. Even though ChatGPT could never know that information, they did leave me with a tip to help me moving forward in figuring out if companies are a scam, encouraging me to do my research and things like that. I think that's helpful enough, not really helping me that much, but helping me enough. So circling back to the cover letter thing, because essentially we're learning that while ChatGPT isn't the best for directly helping us apply to jobs on Upwork, it can help us with things like cover letters, which is, I think, the hardest part of applying to a job on Upwork. And so I wanted to do one more test where, let's say you have no idea how to write a cover letter and you think, okay, I don't know what to write, but I have XYZ experience, blah, blah, blah. Let's just go off of just the 2 jobs that you had. Let's write a cover letter off of that. So I said, can you write me a cover letter detailing the following experience? 3 years working for XYZ marketing agency where I managed clients, edited video, and supervised interns, semicolon, just an extra separation, and 2 years editing for Tom Jones YouTube channel where I edited 3 10-minute videos a week with engaging video editing techniques and helped his brand grow to 50,000 subscribers. So that's something that I'll note is that even though ChatGPT can help you, you do have to give it as much detail as possible in a very structured sentence, because I think that if I were doing this without the proper punctuation, I think that it would just get kind of confused and you might end up with kind of a messier result from ChatGPT. So just remember that it is a robot and you need to treat it like so, and you need to speak to it properly. But this is what it gave me, and I think it did a good job. Same similar sentence that it always kind of starts with, and it really just dips right into the experience because that's all I really gave it. During my time at XYZ marketing agency, I was responsible for managing clients, blah, 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 everything that I had just said. In addition to my experience at the agency, I spent 2 years editing for blah, 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 and then just goes into more of my skills. So it just really breaks it down into a structured way of writing your cover letter with the experience and information that you give it. And as someone who had a lot of experience writing a crap ton of cover letters, having this is something I wish I would have had back then, because it definitely would have saved me more time and maybe would have gotten me even better jobs possibly, because it does, well, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that, because I do think that I wrote my cover letters pretty well, enough to get me the jobs that I got. But I think that especially if you are struggling with writing cover letters, or you're getting exhausted by writing them and you're finding yourself just copying, pasting them, which I think is a bad decision, you should definitely try out ChatGPT. I fully endorse it for helping you with your cover letter writing. And I would love to know your thoughts on this. Have you already tried ChatGPT for Upwork applying for jobs, or for applying to any jobs? Have you used it for other ways to help you with your video editing? Have you used it on, maybe you have a YouTube channel? I've used it for that. Maybe you're using it for that. I would love to hear your thoughts on how it is helping you in general with your video editing world. So definitely comment below. If you like this video, I would also love it if you would hit the like button below and hit subscribe for more tips on things like this, things about Upwork, things about freelance, and things about video editing, of course. Thank you to my team. Again, I am Colleen, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one.